Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lara. My channel has predominantly been about my makeup no-buy, which I have embarked on over the past 2.5 years. You know the story. Most people watching this have already seen my videos, so I'm just gonna skip that. In this video, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, I'm gonna be discussing how my makeup no-buy changed my life, changed my perspective, and specifically how it made me a more conscious consumer. Now, it did make me a more conscious consumer in all aspects of my life, but in this video, of course, I'm going to be specifically focusing on makeup and my relationship to makeup. I do want to mention that I don't have a viewfinder on this camera, so I have no idea what I look like at any given time. So if my hair looks like very strange, there's like a piece off in a weird direction, or I have like lipstick on my teeth or whatever, I have no idea. Don't blame me. So the first way that my makeup no-buy changed me as a person, or it made me a more conscious consumer, is that it altered the kind of content that I was consuming. So prior to my no-buy, I did consume a lot of makeup content on primarily YouTube, but also Instagram. And most of this content, I would say, was basically centered around consumption. I mean, these channels don't specifically say that. There was a lot of hauls, there was a lot of trying new makeup, first impressions, that sort of content was primarily what made up the content that I was consuming. And also like a lot of sponsored content, that has to be said, because the people that I was watching were fairly big content creators. You know, you generally see more sponsored content with larger content creators than you do with smaller content creators. But when I went on my no-buy, of course, I wanted to see the kind of content that would be helpful to facilitate and continue my no-buy. So I was seeking out people who made content about makeup no-buys. So I was watching a lot of no-buy content, a lot of Project Pan content, a lot of anti-hauls, and this is, I would say, the bulk of the makeup content that I am consuming now. Most of it is not about consuming makeup. Most of it is at least somewhat critical of the makeup industry, and this has really made a huge difference. This is one of the main tips that I would give you if you wanted to embark on a makeup no-buy. Stop consuming content by people who post a lot of hauls and stuff. That's just not going to be helpful. It's going to make you want more makeup. It was very helpful to see people making the kind of content that didn't encourage me to purchase new products. And I have to say that my no-buy also kind of coincided with my own education around consumerism in general, not just in the makeup industry, but also, you know, capitalism and how these economic systems work a little bit more, how the makeup industry works. Just as a fun little fact, almost every large makeup company is owned by 8 families. Kelly Gooch did a great video about this that I will link below. And you know, that's not a good thing. A couple years ago, I might not have recognized why that wasn't a good thing, but now it's clear to me. It definitely made me recognize the importance of buying more indie brands and smaller companies that aren't owned by these oligarchs. So changing the people that I was following, who I was listening to in the makeup world, has really changed things for the better for me. The next way that going on a makeup no-buy has changed me as a consumer is it has changed the way I look at purchasing and my purchasing habits. So right now, every purchase I make is carefully planned, and I'm not buying that much, but there are, you know, a couple of mostly skincare replacements that I have to make when I run out of those products. And there are a couple of new things that I brought into my collection over the past couple years, but nothing has been an impulse purchase. Everything has been very carefully planned, carefully thought through, making sure that these were items that I needed in my collection, that I was happy with the company that I was purchasing from, all that stuff. And this is not something that I had ever done before. I would say at least 75% of the makeup that I was purchasing prior to my no-buy was impulse purchasing. So I would be in a store, I would see something that I was interested in, or maybe I had heard somebody talk about on YouTube, and I would pick it up. A couple of things I did give more thought to, especially if they were more expensive items, or if I was asking for something as a present, those would get more thought. But the majority of items I was purchasing was just impulse purchasing. And of course that doesn't turn out well most of the time. So from now on, every purchase that I make is going to be much more thought through, and hopefully never impulse purchase again. The third way that this makeup no-buy has changed my relationship with makeup is that it really made me realize how long it actually takes to get through a makeup product. I have seen this because I have a lot of empties. I have a lot of products that I finish. I never used to have empties before my no-buy because I would always bring new things in before I could finish my older products. So I really had no idea how long it took to get through a product. I mean, I couldn't have even guessed. Like now it seems so obvious that blushes take the longest to get through out of pretty much any product, but I would have had no idea before because I wasn't trying to get through blushes. I never finished anything. That just wasn't my goal. It wasn't something that I thought was worth taking note of. Little braids in front of your hair is really in right now, but I don't know how to start. How do I hold my... I don't know. The fourth way that I have become a more conscious consumer through my makeup no-buy is having to do with the end stages of my makeup. So of course, prior to my no-buy, I wasn't really thinking about the end stages of my makeup. I didn't ever get rid of anything because I never finished anything. First of all, I never panned products. And second of all, I would never declutter anything. I just wanted to keep everything that I had. But of course, through my makeup no-buy, as you've seen, I've done a lot of videos about my declutters and my empties. I do them every couple of months. So now I have to think about what to do with those products when I have finished them or when I want to declutter them. There is actually a makeup recycling service. You can go to Lots of 10 and they will recycle your finished products for you. So makeup recycling, something I didn't even know existed before. And then also when I'm decluttering products, I have to think about where they're going, making sure they're going to a new home. So that's either passing them off to friends or trading them on buns. That is my preferred method. Or putting them up on free Facebook pages so somebody can get use out of them because I am certainly not using them. Obviously, I never thought about this stuff before, and it's also forced me to confront the topic of makeup expiration, which is something that I didn't even bother thinking about before, but now, I have to recognize makeup will expire. I do need to either use it up before it expires or pass it on to someone else. The fifth thing that has changed since I have gone on this makeup no-buy is that I have actually kept all of the empties that I have finished. At the end of, it was about a year and a half in this makeup no-buy, I went into Lots of 10, as I mentioned, and I recycled all of my makeup empties. And because of this, I was sort of forced to see how much makeup I had gone through in this period of time, which makes you realize, one, how much money you had spent on these products, two, how much plastic and actual product there was, how much product had been manufactured in order for me to use it. So it really makes you confront your consumption habits when you have to collect everything you've used. It's kind of like if you decide to keep all of your garbage, let's say you keep a little bag and you put all of your garbage in it for a week, a month, whatever, you're forced to confront how much garbage you actually produce. Whereas if it's just going into the bin whenever you have garbage and you're just taking it out regularly, you're not really thinking about how much garbage you're producing on a weekly or monthly basis. Also, I have done so many creative things with makeup because of wanting to actually use my collection. I have repotted items into different containers or in the same containers, but if it was too dry, I would make it more liquidy. I have mixed together different products. I have changed the formulas, mixed colors of foundation, and I don't think I would have done any of this prior to my no-buy if I didn't like a product or if it wasn't performing well. I wouldn't have even decluttered it to someone else. I just would have kept it in my collection and forgotten about it. So this no-buy has really forced me to use what I have and really confront my actual makeup collection. The sixth thing that has changed is that my makeup no-buy has forced me to actually go back and confront items that I no longer use. So I've become much more acquainted with my makeup collection. I actually did a makeup inventory recently, not for YouTube, but just for myself so I know what I have. I have gone back and tried to use old products that I neglected long ago because I didn't like them. And some things I've actually, rediscovered. I really like them. And other things, well, it's not great, but at least I'm trying to use them up before they expire. And I wouldn't have done that before. I would have just kept bringing in new products and neglected the old ones. So this no-buy has really forced me to confront my collection as a whole. It has forced me to be more mindful not only about new items I'm bringing in, but also what is worth keeping, thinking about what deserves to take up space in my life. And this has spilled over into other aspects of my life for sure. My closet is much more curated now, I would say. Like this shirt, actually, I'm sort of back and forth about it, but I kind of think that it's time to pass this shirt on. I have gotten rid of so much clothing over the past couple years just because of, really thinking more critically about items and my relationship to my items. And number 7, the final thing that has changed because of my makeup no buy is that I project pan everything now. I guess this is kind of a joke, but honestly, project panning is a great skill to have. I don't know if you would necessarily call it project panning if it's not makeup. I guess you would just call it like finishing items, but that's not quite as much fun. Really, this drive to finish everything that I bring in, or at least get use out of everything that is in my life, is a really important one to have. It causes you to think about every single product that you bring into your life, whether it's a kitchen device, clothing, fun food product you're trying, like whatever it is, it causes you to actually think about it and confront, will I actually get use of this product? Is it worth the cost that I'm paying to acquire it? Is it worth the cost to, the earth to produce it? I project pan makeup, of course, but I also do it to my body care products, to hair care, to skincare, to random jams in the fridge. You just have things in your fridge that have been there forever because they don't go bad? Yeah, really thinking about finishing off those products and not bringing them into your home again. My partner will joke about this now, so like when he finishes a deodorant or like even a bag of coffee, he'll be like, look, I project panned it. Like this is a running joke in our home now. So yeah, just this idea of really thinking through everything you bring into your life and what its value is to you, I think has been very, very beneficial overall. I did mention in my last episode that I want to talk about sort of what media I'm consuming lately, just so you can maybe get a better feel for who I am as a person, or maybe some inspiration for books that you should read, stuff like that. I did suggest talking about either movies or books. I think I'm going to do books because most of the movies that I watch, I'm not just like watching stuff on Netflix or Prime or whatever. I try to watch movies at film festivals or like special screening events. So these aren't necessarily things that are going to be available everywhere, which I don't really think is fair. I want people to be able to access what I'm talking about. So I will just be talking about books in the future. And I will be starting that with my next video. And I gotta go record another podcast episode, so make sure you are subscribed to that. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. So that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear about how your makeup no buy has changed your life, or if this inspires you to go on your makeup no buy. I've done a little content around my struggles with makeup no buy, or like the downsides, but I still want to keep it positive and show that I have had a great experience on this makeup no buy. If I didn't, then I wouldn't still be on it, but just being truthful about the benefits, advantages, and disadvantages. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. So give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.